chasing the stars, we'll stride into the dawn. Never back down till the battle is won. Face each foe with hearts brave and true, unafraid of the unknown, because I'll face it all with you. Hello, I'm the reviewer. You review it, I review you. This is my partner, Mr. It. Today, we'll be looking at some episodes of Crap Guide to D&D, specifically the ones on some of the more martial classes.
It's too cold outside.
Suddenly, I regret doing this review in the middle of summer.
What shadowy hints of my easy-to-miss social life is dying, and I also want to argue about how pop culture characters fit into alignment charts.
Is that not a common activity?
Do you like hitting things? What am I saying? Of course you do. Everybody does.
I think we just found the one generalization that applies to literally everyone. While exactly what should get hit is up for debate, I don't think there's a single person on this earth that wouldn't get at least a little catharsis.
I most certainly do, all the time, like now.
And this is why you've been banned from IKEA.
The Barbarian is the best class for hitting everything and everyone hard enough they explode into a huge puff of confetti or a shower of blood and organs. What's the difference? They're pretty much the same thing.
If DreamWorks followed that philosophy, I doubt Puss in Boots 2 would be rated PG.
What? You get a D12 for your hit die, one of the only times you'll ever use a D12.
Actually, yeah, that thing goes surprisingly unutilized.
And if you're taking recommendations, I highly suggest going for the dual-wield chainsaw shotgun laser earrings with detachable missile launchers and drink dispensers. Ooh, and they have built-in cup holders.
Please tell me someone made that as a homebrew item.
Look at that. No tool proficiencies, but who cares? Nobody uses tools anyway. You pick them to add to your character for backstory purposes and then forget they exist because you only ever roll for skill checks anyway, you lazy, thoughtless gobblebright.
Whether or not that's true depends on your DM.
Of course, the signature trait of the Barbar is being able to enter a ferocious frenzy of force that foes will fear for all their fannies.
God, I love alliteration.
I don't care that the things I'm using for analogies aren't real. Intelligence is a dump stat anyway. That's why mine is the number that comes after 3.
Wow. I was gonna play the song, but he can't even count to 4.
Fighter-Man, overall he's fairly bland.
I'll gladly take this over Homer Simpson singing Spider Pig any day.
Gee, I wonder what it does. It's a goddamn mystery. Who knows?
I know, right? And follow-up question, what the hell does Pot of Greed do?
I'll say it because nobody else will. If you pick fighter, odds are you're also likely to pick human because you're basic like that. And that's not just me saying that, it's science.
And science never lies! Unless it's been disproven.
What do you mean I'm not the first one to come up with the idea? I don't need these lies coming out of you. Everything I make is completely original and everybody knows it. Come on, Master Chief, let's get the fuck out of here.
I feel like he's either gonna be very happy or very disappointed when that helmet comes off. Either way, it should be a fun surprise.
This means that if you go a turn without hitting at least something, then you must have made some kind of D&D sin that angered Gary Gygax.
RNGesus can be surprisingly unforgiving.
It's like getting weighted dice or putting milk in before your cereal.
I legitimately do not understand anyone that does this. If you don't do the cereal first, how will you know how much milk you need? Footage of me somehow makes it into this video. Seriously, this is more or less what your evenings will look like if you get into video production. Just hours of literally this. Beware. And whether or not that happens depends on your roommate.
Foregoing any sort of traditional filthy weapon proficiencies and instead opting for wanting to punch, bam, boom, slam, kick, punch stuff.
I'm a little disappointed that he didn't finish that first meme.
So no matter how you're doing as Mama said, you'll be dishing out more pain-induced fistings than 2 lesbians who consider watching porn as a reasonable substitute for sex ed.
I want to ask an actual lesbian about that analogy, but I feel like that won't end well for me.
By catching them if they're a fist projectile or dodging out of the way if it's an area of fist.
Funny thing is, anybody who doesn't play D&D probably thinks that visual is an exaggeration.
As a monk, your shtick is the key feature, but since I can't come up with any way to make this section much funnier, and also because key translates to poop in Thai, that's how I'm going to refer to it from now on. You gain more and more poop as you level up, and you can spend your poopy points on various skills to do all sorts of things.
You know, I would give him shit about that, no pun intended, but we are the channel that did this joke.
And not just the
Poops.
the word.
Poops.
They stole it too.
I'm so mature.
And now, for our final video of the day, we finally get an answer to the age-old question...
What's a paladin?
Do you want to tank? Do you want to fight? Do you want a class that'll instill fright? Take up some plate and keep the goblins in sight, because you want to make sure they eat this paladin smite!
I need that to be in a paladin pitch reel.
The Paladin is the first on a short list of hybrid-style classes, stealing a mix of features from both the fighter and the cleric.
And apparently stealing the heart of Joe Craft's bard character.
If I wanted to follow some sort of code, I'd become a pirate so that I could at least plunder some booty while I'm at it.
That visual gives me Kid Icarus flashbacks.
But we all know the real reason anyone picks Paladin, and that's to never cast any actual spells, but instead use your spell slots to imbue your weapon with various flavors of smite!
You can do both.
You can smite with fire, laser pointers, brain freezes, sick basey drops, and cheese! Cheese for everyone! Sorry, I meant force. Force is what it says.
Not the Force, mind you. Unless you're playing the first Resistance. These videos are a lot of fun, and despite the disclaimer in the title, fairly informative. Sure, it's not a detailed breakdown of each class, but they tell just enough to help a new player decide if they want to play these classes. I'm the reviewer. You review it, I review you.